Homage to Langston Hughes, written by me, J. Hewlett. Langston Hughes was born February 1st, 1902, and died of prostate cancer May 22nd, 1967. He and his younger brother, however, were left in the care of their maternal grandmother, Mary Patterson Langston, who instilled in them the importance of an education, racial pride, and being successful members of society. Mary Langston, who was of French, African, and Cherokee descent, and who lived until she was 102 years old, was the first black woman to own property in the small Kansas town of Lincoln, where she and her grandsons lived. After James Hughes had left his wife and sons to seek employment in Cuba and Mexico, he would send Mary Langston letters periodically enclosing money orders that paid the rent for her roomy home, which was located on the average block housing 24 elements, and allowed her to purchase her grandson's new shoes and clothing. The life and works of Langston Hughes. Many fans of Langston Hughes believe that the fictionalized autobiographical character he created in his fiction is the ultimate incarnation of Hughes, the man and the writer. His mission was to write honest and realistic stories about black life, often focusing on characters who were victims of racism. His so-called militancy, however, was not always supported by those who were deeply troubled by racist treatment of black people. While some critics object to claims that his fiction is the first rank, others assert that he employed unique strategies for rendering an accurate portrayal of black life in America. This portrayal, they believe, is what gives his best work lasting power and influence. The influence of Langston Hughes on the Harlem Renaissance. In the Harlem Renaissance, there were a lot of interest in famous black writers like Langston Hughes and Zora Hurston. There were also new magazines like The Crisis, which was written for black people. It talked about what was happening in the recreation and rare issues that were important to black people as a race. The Harlem Renaissance was also helped by many of the radio stations that were in New York. They let black musicians let their voice be heard. That is what caused the New York as well as the white community to be interested in the Renaissance. Because of all this attention, it made black people values rise incredibly. The Harlem Renaissance was the first great movement of African American culture. The Harlem Renaissance was in the 1920s and 1930s. This was a great niche of black culture. It influenced the black people in their music, their writing, and their creative minds. Today, it is looked back upon as a time when black people were able to express themselves best. This changed the history of black America. The main place of the Harlem Renaissance was Harlem. This was a mostly black neighborhood in Harlem. It was made famous because of all the black clubs, bookshops, and intellectual activity. This was a very good place for black people to come and be around other black people who thought like them. So again, we must always pay homage, show love and appreciation to the ones before you. So I wanted to write something, part one of Homage to Langston Hughes, written by yours truly, J. Hewlett. Thanks for listening.